Hi there, thanks for tuning in to Make This Happen, where we discuss an idea we've been dying to see come alive. Every week, my friend, Jay Yee, and myself, Alex Gonzalez, will bring you a product you never knew you needed. Now let's get started with tissues. People may ask where I was taking tissues. How can tissues evolve? Kleenex. They cornered the market. But did they?
There's puffs. Lotion in your tissue. I said there's puffs.
With lotion in the tissue?
Lotion in there.
Yep, there is. I posit we're going to go one step further. We're going to have the sick tissues. And what these tissues is it's going to be able to turn a certain color to notify you what type of disease you have, whether you have a common cold, whether it's bacterial or viral, so you can tell if you have a cold, a flu, and or COVID. So what I want to do is it's not going to be able to like, it's a fucking tissue. So it's not going to sit there and zero in like you have COVID, Omicron variant. No, but it's going to be like, we have detected viral load in the tissue. It's going to be some kind of chemical thing where viruses will turn it blue. Bacteria will turn it green. So if you have a sinus infection and you blow your nose, it will be green. So, you know, I have some type of bacterial infection. If you blow your nose and it turns blue, you're like, I have the cold, the flu, or COVID. What do you think so far?
I think it definitely is possible. I just think the problem is it's going to turn blue or green way more often than you'd probably think. Even if you're not feeling sick, it's probably going to change the color because you probably do have an infection. It's just not a serious one, and you probably didn't realize you had one. And so I feel like this is going to cause a lot of health anxiety for some people. Where they're like, I'm sick. I don't feel sick. How sick am I? You know,
you've been sick for a long time. Okay. All right. And
then it's also just a signifier to everyone around. So don't blow your nose in public with these tissue papers.
Not with these tissues.
You could, as an employer, you could like trick your employee, like, oh, do you need a tissue? Yeah, thank you.
Go home.
You can't stay here.
All right. We're pivoting then. What if we make a super strong tissue? Because I don't know about you, but I've blown holes in tissues.
Oh, all the time.
So what if we make a tissue that's strong? We'll make it like we'll mark it as the strong tissue that you can use, fold, and then use again, and it's not gross. Because Kleenex, if you do one load and try to fold it like toilet paper, try to do it again, you may or may not get it. It may just get really gross on you.
I usually, unless I just totally destroyed that Kleenex with like the biggest loogie booger in the world, most of the times I could get at least 2, sometimes 3 out of it. So I could definitely see the use of a stronger tissue.
What if it's a stronger reusable tissue where once you're done with it, you can wash it?
See, that's a step too far for me. Like, I don't do handkerchiefs, and I don't like the idea of handkerchiefs.
But what if the box that you buy would wash and sanitize it for you and fold it?
I do like the idea of just a slightly stronger tissue that can hold more liquid, and in case I do get one giant load that just comes, I'm like, how did my nose fit all this? It'll be perfect for that.
Now, I gotta warn you,
because there's times where I go, and it's all over my hands after.
Unfortunately, because of the nature of this show, I feel like ideas always turn dirty. So the words that you're using signify tissue for other reasons. Where you're like, giant load, getting all over my hands. So I'm just warning you, if you want to go down this road, you can. But I'm using tissues for tissue's sake because I also was a kid. There's so many reasons to add to the list why I was a weird kid. But another one was I would get bloody noses at random. My nose would just start bleeding. Not like anime. I hope maybe like other anime where I guess maybe I use my brain too much. And but it was just when things would get hot, when things would get dry, living in California, I'd get nosebleeds. I would wake up with a puddle of blood like in my pillow, weird stuff. I would love there to be a better tissue to soak all that up so I could just sit there and put it there and wait and wouldn't feel gross about it. Because with Kleenex and other regular tissue, if you try to do anything more, like let's say you have a runny nose and you try to like keep wiping it with the same tissue, it disintegrates on you.
Yeah.
It like almost disappears.
Definitely. Yeah.
So I don't want something that's sturdier that you can put up to a kid's nose and use.
Just a heavier duty paper, but it doesn't lose the softness.
And maybe that's where we'd have to have something where we would team up with Cetaphil.
Yeah. This is just an addition to add to it, because I feel like this would be an interesting addition. You could say no. But, puffs, we mentioned them earlier. They already have the lotion in there. What if we infuse it with like a little bit of menthol or like a little bit of spearmint in there to like open up your sinuses?
One brand, we could do that.
Yeah. So like every time you blow your nose and then like you don't mean to like breathe in a little bit, but you're going to breathe in a little bit through your nose after you blow your nose, right? And it'll just give you a little bit of hit of mint, and it'll just kind of open up those sinuses, get you breathing again, and get you going.
Wow. I think that's a good idea. I like it. We'll have some tissues unscented and some tissues with the scent. We'll have it with the lotion on. Because then you could also, like, not only spearmint, not only menthol, but we could also partner up with Vicks and then have like a Vicks tissue. Mm-hmm. And that'd be great. I don't know. I don't know how Vicks works. I just know that when I was little, my grandma would rub it on my chest.
Yeah, I had no idea how Vicks works. But I know what the logo looks like.
So a heavier duty tissue that we could market as, all those ads where it shows those kids having a tough time? You're an adult and no one's going to take care of you. So this tissue will. And then the tissue like falls from the top of the frame down.
It breaks the ground because it's so strong.
This is the tissue for people who need to take care of themselves. And I'm like, oh yeah, I think that's me. No one gives a fuck about me when I'm sick. No, that's not true. But when I was single and living alone, that's how I felt. Where I was like, I'm dying and no one's here to help me. So a tougher tissue. We're not putting in the thing that outs you if you're sick with bacterial. We'll make it tougher, make it stronger. How big do you want the tissue to be? Normal size though, still?
I think slightly bigger, because even with the normal size tissues, it's not enough space, especially when you fold it once and then twice.
Yeah.
Especially after the second fold, it's going to be more like wet and moist in specific areas from the other times you blew your nose on it. So slightly bigger just to get a little bit more surface area to work with. And then also one ply. I hate how the tissues
it's gonna be
have
one
like
ply.
3 different plies that are
absolutely
applied in 3 different sections. It's just one sheet of paper.
Yep.
That's tough, soft, and might have a minty scent.
And I was thinking for the to-go packs, I would want it to be something that could like fit into a wallet, or that's very thin. So it's not like a little notebook or something. It's a little bit smaller than that. It doesn't bring a lot, like maybe 4, but you could carry it around easily without it being this fat pack of tissues.
Yeah, what if instead, how like Kleenex has those fat packs with like 50 in them or whatever? Mm-hmm. What if it was like a duo pack and it's just 2 that come in your...
Yeah, that way just if you needed them really quick.
Exactly. And since you're stronger, it's not like you're going to need the 50 shitty tiny ones that Kleenex gives you. You could use one for multiple uses and then throw that away, and then you have your second one. And just carry like 2 of them, and then you'll be fine, Absolutely. And we can market it for just any kind of bodily mess, and I think that would work out. Now, I wonder who would adopt this. Glad. They're moving into the tissue game.
I think that works. Glad, make this happen. Thanks for listening. If you have any suggestions or products you'd like to see talked about, feel free to write in at @poundgames@gmail.com. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to join the @Pound family, come find us at patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early, meaning Make This Happen gets to your ears that much sooner. If you enjoyed our show, take a second. Give us a review. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Store, and more. Catch you guys next Sunday with Jay's brilliant idea.
It's an interesting one. We're going back to the order 1886.
A literal video game about werewolves. We're going to improve that.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Let's do it.